Hey everyone, it's Melissa Thomas from C2C Stamping, and we are going to do our first Merrymakers Christmas card class. I'm super excited. This one is Woodland Wishes, features the Woodland Wishes stamp set. And for those of you who have gotten the class, it's in the mail, or if you came in person, thank you. If you are interested in purchasing the entire series, we have 4 monthly classes, August, September, October, November. It's $140 for the series. You're going to make 9 cards per month, so that's 32 cards. And we are including some product, so you have stuff to play with and continue crafting and creating. This month features the Stitch Season DSP and some watercolor paper and a blender pen. I can still sell the series even though we've done month 1. I'll just do another round of prep and I'll probably just tuck it in with the next one. So I teach mine on the 4th Tuesday of the month. And this one involves a lot of ink colors because we're going to color. But other than that, it's a pretty straightforward class. So I'm going to walk you through the projects, and I'm going to make sure I've got all my directions here. Each month you get a PDF with all the directions, and this video where I'm showing you how to make all the cards. Everything comes packaged in a nice envelope, so you have all the projects prepped and ready to go. If you do the entire series, you get a set of envelopes from us, which is great. I'm going to move, I don't want that to stain anything. All right, so I'm just getting myself organized because I just taught the in-person class, and so generally it gets me disorganized. All right, so card number 1 is made with designer series paper, and we're gonna cut, there's 2, in this class you got full sheets of designer series paper, and we're gonna do, you can do 2 from the candy canes, or you can do 2 from, there's another red piece, but it looks really cute with the red. So there's 2 full sheets, and then on the inside you'll either have the little trees or the birds. They're both really cute. So you'll cut and score your card base, and then we're just stamping the really big image, which has now disappeared. Here it is. And we're just stamping it on the perennial postage. So everything's like cut for you. The card bases, you know, are cut and scored. If there's a piece that needs to be die cut, then of course I'm gonna die cut it for you. All right, so we're gonna stamp the big guy. I wanted to use both the inside and outside of this designer series paper because I think it's really, really pretty. And this was the best way I can think of doing that. All right, so I'm gonna try to center this without being in the way. This stamp does stamp really, really nicely, so that's good. Perfect, excellent. We'll use that little wipey. And then I stamped the sentiment with Secrecy, my new favorite black, on the little crossbar. Dun, dun. Sending love and joy this Christmas. I just remembered I want to stamp my little fox and sentiment on the inside, and I need real red for that, so probably shouldn't have closed that. No big deal. All right, may your Christmas be merry and bright, And looking for the fox. All right. Fox. So this designer series paper, just be careful when you're scoring it, and also when you're cutting and scoring, make sure that you've got your inside piece going the right way so your birds are not weirdly sideways. And also just be careful, it's DSP, right? So when you score it, I just like hand did it. I didn't use the scoring blade just because sometimes I overdo it. And then that's it for that. So we're just gonna glue this in here, and this is glued on top, and then this is just put up with some dimensionals. That's it. So card number 1, simple, pretty, not superly complicated, but all the little critters are just so cute. So I hope you like that one. We have 4 of us that do the designs for this. So this month's was actually my designs. And then Sarah, our friend Sarah Amuso Cuoma, and then Susan Rutherford and Jill Moyer. And so we are the ones who do the designing. We each take a different set and a different month. And what it does is it helps us so that we can actually get Christmas cards made and designed for you guys. If not, fall's a really busy season, and so it might not happen otherwise. So, okay, so the next one, we're going to use watercolor paper. So we included watercolor paper with this class. And you can use half a sheet of watercolor paper to stamp your guy. This is what we're working on. So what we're going to do is we're going to stamp the tree, and then we're going to color in all of our critters. And in the guide, I have a list of all the colors and what you color with each one. And we're just going to use some ink in our lid and our blender pen that everybody got one of. We used the 3D embossing folder, the tree ring on this one. And you can see, I mean, there's a little bit of variation, in how it's colored, but so we're gonna stamp in pecan pie. You could stamp this in crumb cake, but I think pecan pie is a little bit darker, and I think it makes it a little bit easier to see, all the imagery. And it doesn't really matter. It would help if I didn't have a big smudge on it, but other than that, you're just gonna stamp in the middle. And because it's watercolor paper, just give it an extra second. Kind of make sure you've smushed it well, but it has a little bit of tooth to it. It has a little bit of texture. So you just want to make sure that you get a good image. And then we're going to use a little bit of pecan pie, and I'm going to clean my brush in between, but we're going to use pecan pie to color in the bear. And we're also going to color in the pine cone. There's a cute little pine cone over here. And so you'll notice I kind of go darker on the edge. And then I'm kind of, working my way towards a lighter color. When you first put your pen in the ink, it'll be a lot darker. So you just have to be careful that you don't get it, too dark, too smudgy. There. Okay. And then I am going to get it nice and dark for the pine cone. Okay. And then I'm just going to clean my brush, my blender pen, and we'll move to the next color. So we're going to do crumb cake for the deer and the owl. And I'm going to leave him a white-tailed deer, so I'm going to leave his tail white. And then I'm just going to use a little bit of this color on the owl, just on his little wings, his head, and his little kind of ribbly waist. I don't know. He's funny. Cajun Craze for our fox, of course. And we're going to do a little bit of light Cajun Craze for the squirrel. So we'll start with the fox because he's can be super dark. We have more of like a gray fox here. So. And I leave his underbody white, so. Cute. And then Mr. Squirrel. Okay, left the tip of his tail a little white too. Then I used cloud cover for the bunny because cloud covers has a really gray look to it. But when you do this, make sure you clean off your brush really, really good because it'll pick up. And then just make sure when you're doing it that you don't touch the edges of the bunny, because if not, you'll smear all that brown into the bunny. So I'm even trying to like kind of avoid his eye by going around it. But then we have kind of this gray blue bunny in the corner, which is cute. Then we're gonna do red, real red, for the birds and the ornaments. So one of the reasons that I like this technique for coloring this is it's actually pretty quick. I know that we're like opening and closing a lot of ink pads, but it's actually pretty fast because you're just adding, you know, a touch of color here and there, and you're not having to like press super hard or anything. So just something to think about when you're choosing to color. You know, yes, we have watercolor pencils. Yes, we have blender pens, markers, you know, but this is a fun technique and it looks really nice. I think it looks really cute on the watercolor paper because it's got a little bit of extra texture. So I think it looks cute. There's an ornament. I'm going to do the bow down here. There's an ornament here, and I know there's one more ornament right here. So ornaments and birds. And then we've got Old Olive. So definitely want to make sure we clean out our pen. And we're gonna do some of the greenery. So what's important with this one is you don't want brown greenery. So get a lot of ink when you do this so that you know, have as green of greenery as possible instead of brown. So you'll notice I'm going back a lot, picking up as much, you know, green ink as I can. I didn't touch the berries, but I think that's it. Maybe right there, okay. And then the last thing we'll do is crushed curry for the cute little stars. So we've got, and again, I'm gonna try to be careful not to touch the edges or else I'm gonna end up with brown stars. So I'm just working inside the line. If you are doing this on your own and you didn't get the new blender pen for me, a new blender pen is really nice. And oh, I forgot to do the package, the green on the package. But it has a nice fine tip, so you're able to get in there. There we go. Okay. Very nice. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna rip this. So in order to get this look, I did the bottom first because it's straight, easier. And then I like to kind of hold my thumb here and kind of block where I'm gonna tear. This is a tougher one because there's like, you kind of have to go around his antler a little. So you can start in a little bit and then kind of go around. And then you want it a little bit uneven because you want those, and I like the tear marks towards me because I think that is more fun. So here we go. And then we just have holiday greetings. Everything's flat, and then this is popped up with dimensionals. So that one's really easy to assemble. And then the last card is, where's my sample? You like that? I just kind of move things around and see if my sample emerges. Well, that's funny. Okay. Well, we'll stamp it. Oh, here it is. I was like, I knew I had one. So we're going to stamp the little bear and pull some color out. And then we're going to put some pieces of the DSP on the inside and the outside. I've got a couple extra pieces that I'm going to use that are a little different on this one, but I've already got them trimmed, so I feel pretty comfortable. And then I think I can use this one. Oh, those are two different. That's funny. That would look weird. Maybe I'll just do red on the inside because I've already got it trimmed close enough. So do that. So this is just a gatefold card. Oh, that might be why, because I don't think it's big enough. Huh, that's funny. Well, then we will find something else. There we go. But this paper has lots of usable pieces. Don't be afraid to, you know, cut it apart and use it how you want to. So for this one, we're gonna stamp the little deer and the hedgehog on the inside. I think I ended up using almost every single stamp in this set, which is great. We're gonna stamp this in pecan pie. I did not stamp a sentiment on the inside of this one. I was okay with that, but all right. And then we're gonna stamp, do some cherry cobbler. So both reds are in this paper, which is really wild, and both of the greens, there's multiple greens in here too. So this paper is actually really easy to match. Like if you don't have all the paper and all the colors and stuff, it's actually a really easy one to match up with. So, and then we used the Spotlight on Nature dies for this one, which was fun. We got our bear. We're gonna do him in Secret Sea. Let's see. Well, I might have gone a little high, but that's okay. It'll be fine. And then all I want to do with this one is try to pull out some of the color from the edge, which sometimes is harder to do. I just want to color him in a little bit. He doesn't need a lot, but... And you could add color if you wanted. Like, you could pick some up, but Secret Sea is really, really dark. If I was going to do that, I think I would add cloud cover, not Secret Sea, which is a good tip. So for this one, I'm going to show you the assembly. We're going to glue this flat on there. We've got our card base. We're gonna put our panel on the inside. That pen's about to roll away. And then I cut these smaller panels to go on the front. They're a little bit smaller, but it's because of the shape. Anyways, there's a weird border that you kind of have to work around. And I know this is different than the original, and that's okay. I want to show you some alternatives and other ways to use it. There we go. And then we're gonna do the inside. So when I first saw this paper, I was like, quilting, you know. And the more I've played with it, the more I enjoy it. So I hope that you enjoy it. All right, so then we're just going to put this on here, and I'm going to just make sure I do dimensionals on half of this. I don't know where my other ones went, but that's fine. Make sure you don't tape your card closed. I've definitely done it. Super cute. All right, so here's the original, and then here's the other paper, so you can kind of see both of them. But I hope you enjoyed this. We really enjoy designing these classes for you. If you are interested, I will put the registration link below. It is not too late to join us for Merry Makers Fun. We're so thankful for each and every one of you. Thanks for watching, and let me know if Woodland Wishes made your wish list, because it's been available actually since July in the online exclusives, and I just think it's an adorable stamp set. So thanks so much. Bye, y'all.